And we are live on YouTube for the first time. So welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. We've got a little bit of a different setup today than the other lives that we've been doing this week, as I wanted to be a bit more interactive with you and help you to figure out the best way to make an action plan. So we're here today. How is everybody? I'm really excited. I want to know who's here. I want to know who's in the group. My name's Leah. I'm the founder of Get Comfy with Money. And today we're going to be going through a really fun action roadmap, or a money roadmap is what I like to call it. So basically, the whole point of this is to culminate everything that we've been working on through the week. And I need to just give you a little bit of housekeeping to start with. So I have a team member who is Sula. She's going to be in the chat today answering any questions that anybody has. So please feel free to ask questions. She's going to relay them. So I'm going to have my notifications coming up. So I will look down from time to time to see whether anyone has questions they need from me. But other than that, I'm not going to be in the chat much because I want to stay as dynamic as possible. And I've got my whiteboard here so that we can get through some really great material today. So you've made it. Well done. I've got to say that I'm really, really proud of you. And so is all my team here at Get Comfy with Money, because you're here. And that means that you've taken action. That means that you have decided you're going to put the work in, that you're going to show up here in this live and all of the ones that we've been doing through the week. And you're ready to kind of shift your mindset and actually get on top of your money worries and start putting those plans in place if you're looking to start your own business. Everybody says that they're going to take action and do the work to shift their mindset. But when it comes to actually showing up, that's only something that those who are really, truly ready to take action actually do. So that's those with the staying power. So people like you who have come and have joined this challenge and have stayed here every day and have showed up and put that time aside for themselves and prioritized themselves through this week. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge that and say, well done. Thank you. And thank you. You should be thanking yourself too. So those with staying power, you're rising to the top right now. This is what it feels like to start thinking like a millionaire. And it all starts with this position of you showing up. So I'm really glad that you stuck around so that we can do this together. So in today's workshop, we're going to be walking through one of my favorite tools when it comes to mapping out your game plan. I think that's what a good word for it. So it's a 30-day action roadmap. And I've designed this after working with entrepreneurs and coaches and creative business owners all over the world, and starting to understand that we actually have really unique skills. We have a unique set of skills and talents and passions. And with that, we also have our own challenges and obstacles that we need to work on ourselves and we need to overcome in order to achieve all of our goals. So when it comes to our finances, this plays a part too. So it's not about having that one size fits all approach. We really need to map this out together. So I hope you're all excited. I'd love to get you to do a little emoji in the comment just to tell me how you're feeling about the session. Are you looking forward to it? Are you daunted? Are you thinking this is mad? We're never going to get a 30-day action plan in place. That's also a valid point, but this is the starting point and I'm really excited to share it. So this 30-day roadmap is going to allow you to finally get it. It's going to get you to start moving from what we've been doing this week, which is all around thinking like a millionaire, and start looking at acting like a millionaire. A lot of people say that moving from the thought to the actual action is really scary. And I get it. It is. Sometimes for me, the starting is the hardest part too. So I understand if any fears or anxieties or worries are coming up about whether you think you're capable. But if you've managed to achieve and complete the other challenges this week, I think you already have a bit more of an understanding of your staying power and your ability to get things done. I get to, during this course, during this challenge, witness creatives and amazing women, men, people all over the world to finally kind of put their plans in place and then execute them. So for me, it's really exciting being part of this journey with you. So what I want to do is by the end of this session, have a roadmap for you, which you can then stick up on the wall. You can refer to it, and then you have a plan to follow so that you can start building that business that you want to, start becoming profitable, start becoming sustainable with your lifestyle, and start reaching those goals. So I'm going to show you. This is my money roadmap. So this is the tool that we're going to be using today. And by the end, we're going to have it all beautifully filled in. Now, you don't have a copy of this. You do actually get it in one of my welcome kits. So I'll talk a little bit about that later on. But today, that's my goal, is to help us map that out together. So it's really exciting. We're going to get going. We're going to start looking at this tool. We're going to break it down for you. And then afterwards, so that's kind of the first half or so of the session. Then afterwards, I'm going to show you how you can get access to my actual tools and the things that I really use so that we can break down all the stuff we've been going through. So this week we've been looking at what the problems are, how we can look at maybe improving our awareness around them. So we've been looking at our awareness, and now it's time for us to actually figure out how we can shift things. So we were looking at limiting beliefs. Now we want to look at how we can shift those limiting beliefs. We've been looking at our money story. We want to turn it into a positive relationship with money so we know how we can have a new story going forward. We've been looking at our numbers and starting to see how much is leaving our account. What we want now is to figure out how much we want to earn and how much we actually need to make to sustain ourselves and build that life that we want. And yesterday we were looking at procrastination and productivity. So now I want you to be equipped and know those kind of weaknesses or things that are maybe holding you back a little bit, and figure out how you can use them to your favor. So by the end of this session, I'm going to show you how you can gain the knowledge that you need in the foundations of financial independence, which we spoke about a little bit the other day, those 5 key areas. I'm also going to show you how you can budget effectively in a way that's going to increase your earnings and also empower you to be more mindful when it comes to spending money. I know a lot of people feel guilty around that. When it comes to saving money, I know people want to have more vision and more goals and have those ideas in mind that they're trying to reach. And when it comes to investing money as well, because I know investment came up. So I'd love to hear what you're here for. So if you could leave a comment in the group just to let me know, what are you all here for? At the end of the day, why did you join this challenge? Why are you still as part of it now? What kept you here till today? What's that driving force? So by now you should have a really clear idea of your end goal, of what it is that you're striving towards. I'm just going to see if there's any questions. Okay, so any questions you have throughout the session, please do ask, and Sula will let me know them so I can answer them. So if there's anything I'm missing or anything you're not quite understanding, I'm here for you, and I want to make this as clear and simple as possible for you. So we're also going to look a little bit into the tools I use around exploring your self-worth, so you can understand how you should be pricing yourself when it comes to your salary, or when maybe if you're a freelancer, the rates that you're charging for your day rate, your hourly rate, your project-based rate. And we're going to look at ultimately how you can automate everything. So at the end of the day, we don't want to be doing all this stuff manually and chugging through it. We want a system that allows you to then move on and get rid of all of the stress around money, and then be able to focus on the things that you really do love and that you really are good at. And ultimately as well, I always say it's about sustainability. So profitability is one thing. Yes, we want to make money. Actually, raise your hand if you do want to make money. I hope everybody here who's watching this has that same mindset. But the other side of it is around sustainability. So we want that balance. We want to be able to enjoy ourselves along the ride. I was saying earlier in the week, this idea of having mini retirements along the way. We don't want to just be stuck in this grind, this cycle. Well, I don't anyway. And I feel like a lot of you would feel the same. Let me know in the comments if that applies to you too. But I'm sure that this isn't all there is to life, right? You've got things outside your work hours that you want to be able to focus on and spend attention on. That might be your family. It might be other creative ventures that you have. It might be travel. It might be some kind of impact that you're making in other people's lives. Whatever it might be, you want to have time and resources available so that you can get the best out of your life and live every day as well as you possibly can. So we want to get there, right? We want to get there. It's all about that sustainability. I don't want to promote that culture of workaholics. I used to be a workaholic. It's not fun. Trust me. You get neck issues, you get back issues, you get headaches. And on top of that, you stop having much time for yourself and for the things that you love. I don't want you to feel that if you're running a business, it has to be hard work and constantly on really long hours and not getting anywhere, not making any headway. And I want you to feel really confident about your own abilities at the end of the day. Let me just see if you've got any questions for me. So what do we got? So we've got some people, oh yeah, everyone's just leaving their feedback right now about how excited they are, about how motivated they are to move forward. I'm really happy that that's how you're all feeling. This is great. So by the end of this session, you're going to have complete clarity, complete confidence, and a plan of attack, which is always my secret weapon. You're going to have that step-by-step personalized plan, which will help you get better with money, which is going to help you manage your money better, and also start thinking about how you can make more. Because ultimately, I always say this is kind of the sticking point. This is what we want. I'm also going to be giving you a special gift if you stay till the end of the workshop. So stick around so you can find out what that is, as it's only going to be available for those who are really serious and committed to this session. So as I said, a few housekeeping things before we really get started. So I have Sula in the comments. At the moment, she's keeping on top of everything. If you have any questions, let her know. She will relay to me the questions that are the most important so I can make sure I can stick on top of anything that I need to talk to you about. I want this to be as interactive as possible, so I'm going to be asking you questions along the way as well. So I'd love to hear your answers in the chat box. Just because I'm not dynamically looking at it the whole time, I will read it back later, and I promise I will acknowledge everything that you're saying and putting in there. Now, you might be wondering, what is the catch? You might be wondering why I'm doing all of this for free. And some of you have actually already asked me in a few messages through this week. You're saying, wow, I've got all of these resources and these tools and I'm giving them all away for free. And that is a good question. So there are two reasons for this. And I'm going to bring them up because I think it's really important to understand my ethics and what it is that I'm actually trying to achieve here. So I really want to build a community. I really want to build that supportive network where it's an environment where everybody feels comfortable and safe and happy talking about money. And I also really, like, genuinely in my heart, this is something that I've been doing for the last decade. And this is where my heart sings, is really helping people to get on top of their own blocks and try and push past them so that they can really reach their own potential. So for me, this is a massive passion of mine. It's not just something I'm doing as a job. I've moved out of paid stable work to move into this area. So trust me, I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have the passion behind me. Ultimately, if you don't have the passion behind you, it's going to be really hard to drive yourself. So I hope that as in itself shows an example of how you can turn something that you are really passionate about and that you're talented at into a business. So I've helped clients all over the world to improve their relationship with money and to grow their businesses. And anytime I get to teach creative entrepreneurs or coaches or business owners how to work with those talents and finally feel better with money, this is literally what I live for. So don't think for a second that this feels like work for me. This is fun. Like, I love doing these types of sessions. I love being involved in these workshops and helping you move along. So how are you all feeling so far? Are you still with me? Are you excited? Are you nervous? I want to hear what your thoughts are here. The second reason that I am offering this session and this challenge in general is because at the end of it, I'm going to be offering a small group of people to the opportunity to work with me longer. So if you want more guidance. So however, please note that bit is completely optional. So you're free to leave with all of the hard-won money-making advice that you've learned over the last week and be imparted with all of the stuff that I've been kind of building over the last 10 years without investing anything. So you don't have to do anything if you're not ready. But there are people literally from all over the world here. So I want to talk to you all and find out as much as I can about your individual needs and talents so that we can put them all together into a plan. So I think we're ready now to start getting going with the money roadmap. I'm going to be using this wonderful, what do you call it? I don't even know, flip chart today to just write down some things so that we've got a little bit of a visual cue to help today. So excuse my handwriting because I'm not very good with it. And also I really hope that it's not backwards. So fingers crossed. I haven't used Instagram Live before. So actually I'm going to draw something. I'll just write get comfy with money. Let me know if it's the right way around for you. So can you see this? Okay, just make sure, bring it into focus a little bit further. Okay, can you see me? Can you see that? And is it the right way around? Please let me know before I keep writing. Can you see that? Are we good? Okay, I'm just going to check. It's right. All right, we're good. We're good to go. So first things first, we're going to be doing the end goal. So I always say there's no point in having the starting point ready if we don't know where we want to end up. So to start with, I want you to let me know, wherever you are in the world, where is it that you're trying to get? So this may be aligned with your business idea. So we're talking strictly here about the next 30 days. So if I was to give you a 30-day allowance for you to set yourself up to a certain point, what is that end goal for you? So what is it that you're striving for? And when I say this, there's probably three main areas that we're thinking of. So are you looking within your business within 30 days? Are you keen to have yourself ready with an idea? So are you at the idea stage? Are you thinking what your talents could be? Are you trying to figure out what you could turn into a business? Is that where you're currently at the moment? Or are you at our next stage Are you at the launch stage? Are you ready now to take off? So you've already got your idea. You have been thinking about it for a long time, but you just have needed that little push to get you over the edge to start working towards what you want to. Or the last one mainly would be the growth stage. So are you at the growth stage? So have you already got your business? Are you already making money and you're just looking to up level now? So you want to maybe launch a new product or move into a new area. So what stage do you think you're at? Just let me know in the group. Are you in the idea stage, the launch stage, or the growth stage? So this is a good way to start thinking about how we can work on these next 30 days. So if you're trying to think about your end goal, by the end of this 30 days, what is it that you want to achieve? Are you looking to have your idea realized and sorted out and you know what you're going to focus on? Are you looking to launch a new product? Are you looking to launch your business? And you think in 30 days you're going to be able to get there? Keeping in mind you do have work that you need to fit in probably, and you also probably have other responsibilities and things that you need to get to. Or are you looking to move into the growth stage? So are you looking to launch a new additional product or some other kind of offering? Just checking the questions here. So yeah, a lot of people saying here that they're in the growth stage. Some people are in the initiating stage, in the idea stage. Anyone in the launch stage? I thought I saw a couple of people in launch stage as well. So great, we've got a bit of a range of people in different areas there. Cool. So what is your end goal? What are you working towards at the end of this 30 days? I want you to write that down and I want you to write it in the group as well. So we have that noticed. So let me see. Any other questions at this stage? Cool, you're all doing really good. All right. Oh, we've got some more ready to launch. Idea stage. Cool. So what is that happening for you at the end of those 30 days? Please let me know. I need to get some guidance instilled. So I want that to be written down at the top of your page. So if we were to be looking on this money roadmap, we're looking at the moment down here. So where we want to be. So this is the first point on this roadmap. Where do you want to be? Where are you heading towards? And like I said, this is 30 days only, so don't be too ambitious. Don't say that you're trying to create a whole new product line of designer clothes and have a fashion show at the end of the month. That's probably not going to be possible. So we want to stay realistic as well. All right. Once you've figured out your end goal, we're going to move on. So I want you to imagine a point A and a B. Right, this is where we want to get. So this is what we want to have as our end goal at the end of the 30 days. So now we're going to go into where we are now. So where are you now? So at what point are you now? Are you at the idea stage? Are you still at this point, it's still thinking something's culminating, but you haven't put it out on paper yet, or you haven't talked to anybody about this idea? Are you at the launch stage? Is this the time that you're ready to go? Are you already ready to go? And you literally just need that push to get yourself motivated and going. Or are you at the growth stage? Are you already there now? So where are you now that's not where you want to be? What is it that's kind of stopping you? We're going to get to the what's it stopping you. But what at this point is different to your point B? So I want your where are you where you want to be. And I want your where are you now? And again, apologize for my hideous handwriting. I'm always writing on my phone. So hearing some good stuff. We've got some people ready to launch, having an idea to start launching. Most people are at the idea stage. Lovely. Awesome. All right. So we should by now have our point A and point B. Please just confirm that you have those. Let me know in the comments. Do you have your point A and your point B? Do you know where you are now? Do you know where you want to be? In 30 days, I have to stress that, in 30 days only. So not in a year, not in 2 years, not in 10, just in 30 days. Do you know where you want to be? Just have a look through. Everyone knows where they want to be. Okay, great. So the next thing we've got to do now is break down all of the tasks, all of the exercises, all of the things that we need to do within those 30 days to help us get where we need to get. So we've got any room left there? We'll go over. Great. So what we're wanting to start with is I want you to write down all of the creative stuff. So think about all of the things you might need to do. This could be to do with creating your product. So do you need to create a product or a service? Do you need to package up a service that you have? Is this something that needs to happen in the next 30 days? Or Okay. Do you need to have other people involved? So do you need to collaborate with anybody? Right? Do you need to hire people? Do you need staff? Do you need customers? Do you need partners? Or do you just need feedback? So who in your network do you need to have around you? So start thinking about the things that you need to lay out for each of these things for your ideas to come to light. Do you start needing to think about costs? So budget. Do you need to think about money, the finances behind it? Probably. Or is it something that you can do without investing anything? Do you need to research? Do you need to look into your industry to try and understand a little bit better your market? What step are you at right now? What stage are you in now? And is there any extra training that you need? Do you need any training or development? So I hope you're all furiously writing down those tasks. And yes, Sula's saying we're going to break them into categories. We're going to do that just after this. So for now, just do a full list of everything that comes to your mind. Doesn't have to be in order. This is just some ideas of things that you need to maybe think about. So if you are a musician, for example, maybe you have a song that you want to release. So have you created the song? Have you written the song? Have you recorded the song? What are the next steps? Do you need to get other people involved? Are you planning on launching it by the end of the month? If so, who do you need to contact to get everything in place? Is there a budget? So do you need a marketing budget? Do you need to have some money to spend to promote? Research. Do you need to check when the best time of the month is going to be for you to release that song? Training and development. Is there any additional stuff you need to learn? Maybe you're at home and you need some more tech practice because you're maybe doing your own editing because at the moment we're in a pandemic. What are the things? What are all the steps that you need to take in this month to get to where you want to be? I really want to hear some ideas here. So can you tell me some of the tasks that are on your list? Not in any particular order, but maybe the one that makes you feel the most daunted. Just share with the group here. What is it that's on your list that you know you need to get done within the next 30 days to reach that goal? So if you're just at the idea stage, it may be harder to kind of put it all out on paper. But with ideas, I think the first thing you need to do is brainstorm. You need to write down a list of all of your talents, all of the things that you're really good at, and all of your ideas, big or small, even if they feel stupid or very high hitting and high reaching, just write them down on paper so you've got everything there. So it's becoming more of a reality. So yes, I'm just looking at some of your comments. You're doing great. Cool. So everyone has this list now. How are you all going? Can you write down in the comments how you're going with this list? Have you still got some more things? Again, making sure that this is all achievable within 30 days. This is all we have. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20 work days, and think about other commitments that you have. So we want to be realistic here because we want to feel good when you've achieved, not like you've left off some of your responsibilities. So awesome. How are we going? We're doing good. We're doing well. Got some people saying research, putting together websites. Yeah, great. Accountability calls, joining challenges, doing more research and training. Do you know your market already? Do you know who you're going to be targeting? Are there other people involved? Do you need to do market research? Do you need to reach out to customers and ask them feedback on products that you're planning on providing? Do you need to think about clients? Are you looking to be a consultant? If you are, where do you see yourself getting leads? Like, what does that look like? Will you need an office space? Will you need a physical location that you go to? Do you need to set up photo shoots? Are you trying to create marketing? What are the things? What are all the things that are happening during this step? And when you're there, just let me know. Yeah, so we've got a few interesting things. Yeah, people talking about tackling their imposter syndrome. Yeah, so imposter syndrome, there's two ways that you can look at how you can get over that fear. One is don't care what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter because every single one of you has a unique spin and angle, and you are an expert in your life experience. Nobody else has what you have in that area. So regardless of what qualifications you have, what experience in an area, nobody else knows and sees things through your lens better than you do. So just remember that when you're walking into any situation. And the other one I would say is if there's anything that's really niggling at you that you think you just need more experience in, just take that as an opportunity to start developing more. So start thinking of the things you can do to to combat that feeling. So some industries you do need experience and you do need qualifications for. So make sure if they're the kind of fields that you want to go into, that you have yourself set up and you've got an idea of the steps you need to take. So for example, if I was going to be an accountant, I would have to have an accountancy degree. I'd have to know how to do accounts. I'm not an accountant. I'm a money wellness coach, and this is my distinction. So I don't need to learn all of the tax rates in all of the tax brackets in all of the countries in the world, but I do need to know how I can find the information I need and lead people to the kind of things that they're trying to look for. If that makes sense. Okay, so hopefully you've got a nice big solid list there. All good with that? Cool. So what we're going to do next is we're going to basically tie up. We're going to join the dots. Little join the dot exercise. So we're going to chunk out all of our ideas that we have, and we're going to put them into different categories. So we've got 4 distinct areas. I always say, always, that the only thing, this is so cheesy, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is logistics. Good old logistics. Okay, so if you tackle your logistics, you tackle all of the organizing, there's nothing stopping you. If you need to move house, what do you have to do? You have to do all of these boring little tasks, put them all in line, and then get them all done, and then voila, you've moved into your new house. If you sit there dreaming of this new house that you want to be in, nothing's going to happen. You have to put those steps in place, as boring or scary or daunting or stressful as they may sound. Okay, so we're going to get to breaking down these categories next. So what I want you to do, some of you may have come to another workshop where we delve into these a little bit further, but for this exercise, we're just going to stay a little bit more broad. So what I want you to do in your workbook is draw a nice cross like that in the middle. Just checking in on you all. How are you all going? All doing well? Good. All right, so we've got 4 categories, and what we're going to do is start in the top one with initiate. So then the next one we're going to do is collaborate. Hopefully you can all see the screen. Yes, cool. And then down here we're going to have organize. And the next one is evaluate. Okay, so don't worry if you're still working on your list. Keep adding to it as ideas come. We are going to be working on this, and then you have got as much time afterwards as you need to finish things up. So if you're feeling like you haven't quite finished all the things on the list that you need, that's okay. My point here is to push you to action. So I'd rather you have something down on paper than nothing. So this is a good starting point. So just think if that list is not 100% complete, it's fine, because we're just going to be breaking it down further for the rest of the session. So what I want you to do first is come into your initiate column. So go back to your big list, and everything that's in the list that you think needs to be started needs to be brought into here. So I like to think of initiate as spring. So this is like the idea planting stage. So I like to think of it like a beautiful garden, and there's the garden bed all laid out. You've got your soil, everything's ready, and it's time to plant. So you want to decide where you're going to put everything. You want to decide what you want it to look like. So you're thinking into the future. It's about vision. It's about what you want it to look like. You're planning it out, you're mapping it out, and you're being creative. So at the end of the day, it's not all just strategic. It's like being more creative, thinking about what you want the layout to look like, thinking about the types of flowers you want in the garden, or trees or plants. Is it food that you want to grow in the garden? What is it that you actually want to have in that garden? So this is what we're thinking about in initiate. We're thinking about the starting point. Okay, we're thinking about creation, so creating material or products. We're thinking about structure. So if you're thinking of that garden, how everything is laid out. And we're also thinking about developing, so development of ideas. So how are you all going with that category? How's your initiate tasks? You may even want to use your main list that you've already got and just have like 4 different colors to highlight if that's easier. But it is nice to kind of see the visual of your ideas all out in these different quadrants. How are you all going? Therese is saying, is it going to be available later? Yes. So this video that's on, it's going to be up available for the next week or so after, so you can catch up, you can refer back to anything that you want to. But yes, it will be available on the channel, so don't worry, it's not going anywhere for at least a week, so you can catch up if you need to. So how's Initiate going for everybody? Have you got all your tasks there? Have you pulled them down from your main list? Just give me a yes and then I can move on. How are you finding this? Is this weird? Is this difficult? Have you thought this way before? Is this something that you're familiar with, or is it quite a new concept to you? We're starting to kind of strategize and figure out order of importance of things, but this is a really good way to first of all give yourself a visual overview of everything that you need to do and develop. So Amber, yeah, saying I need to initiate everything. Yeah. So just take your time. It's okay. We're not in any kind of rush. This is the starting point, like I said. So this is just to give you a good overview, a good understanding of the types of things that you have on your list that need to get done. Are you finding it hard? Some people are finding this difficult. So tell me more about it. What are you finding difficult? Is it the thoughts of what you need to be achieving by that endpoint in 30 days? Is it thinking that there's steps that are outside your control? Are there certain things that maybe you need more guidance on? Because you may find as well, coming away from this session, that actually you don't quite know. It's just still too much of an idea for you to know the first place to start. So it does kind of require a little bit more developing. But if that's the case, then you may need to change your 30-day goal so that it's a little bit less ambitious. So we want to make this nice and simple and easy. It's not about too much stuff, right? And there shouldn't be too many things on your list in each category because this is only 30 days. Writing it all down is already a huge, huge step. This is like the starting point, okay? And as I said, the starting point usually is the hardest. So if you're finding this hard, that is an indication that you're on the right track, I think. So you're doing really, really well. I'm just going to move on, but again, don't get overwhelmed or worry too much. We're going to move on to the collaborate stage. So this is the part where you're starting to invite other people in. So we're starting to think of other people that we need to have involved in the process. So just going to check. Sorry, I've got a couple of messages from you. I just want to make sure you're all okay. Yeah, so some of you finding this hard, that's fine. Don't worry, we'll get there together. Yeah, so Aisha's saying I've started and I've created, but I need more structure and definitely more development. It's all a work in progress. That's a beautiful line, actually. It is all a work in progress. This isn't supposed to be perfect. So if you came into the chat yesterday, we were talking about perfectionism and procrastinating. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm not allowing you to procrastinate for the next 20 minutes. So it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, maybe out of your comfort zone, but just stay with me as much as you can. Okay. So the next one is collaborate. So what are we going to do here? So collaboration to me is all about summer. So I like to think of, collaboration as the growth stage. So we've planted all the seeds, we've started to watch those things grow, and it's time to open up and develop it more. So are there any tasks on your list that require a collaboration? So is there anywhere in this area, in this to-do list, that you need to ask for feedback? Is there anywhere that you need other people involved? So if we go back to that writing of the song, do you have a guitarist that you need to make part of the song? Is there anyone else that needs to be involved in the process? Have you already got your song, and do you need to play it to people and give them a chance to listen so that you can see whether it's going to have a good response or not? So when it comes to asking for feedback, you also need to be open to receiving it, right? I may have spelt that wrong. Oh dear. So yeah, we're asking for feedback. We're getting ready to receive feedback. And there's two parts of feedback that I like to think of it as in this stage. There's the collaborators. So this is kind of your internal people. So this may be your team. Do you need to get other people involved? Do you need help with marketing, for example, when you need to hire somebody? Do you need a photographer to take some pictures for you? Do you need to network into other areas? So here, I'm not trying to give you new material. This is all just ideas that may stem from the list that you have before. So we've got our collaborators, all the people that we may need to reach out to and ask for feedback or ask for help. And then the other part that we have are our customers. So think about who your customers may be. If you're a musician, they're probably your audience members who's listening to your music. If you're a consultant, maybe they are clients, they're businesses as well. So are you working with other people? And do you need to do some market research? Do you need to reach out and find out a little bit more about your market? Or are you needing to set up some opportunities for sales? So are you reaching out and inviting and talking to people about working together? So this is a collaboration. So will this be happening during this month? Who knows? It might, depends on what your business is. But do you think that anyone here, do you have any tasks that fit into collaborate? So will you be asking for feedback? Will you be needing other people to help you? I'm curious to hear. I'm curious to know. But let me know. I'm really interested to know. Will you be asking for feedback? How do you feel about getting feedback? Some people find it's really daunting and stressful getting feedback. So I'm really interested to hear more from you on how that feels for you, the idea of sharing your ideas, because that in itself can be quite scary. So how are we all going here? Let me just have a look, checking in on you. How is everyone, Sula? Are they all right? I don't want anyone too stressed. I hope you're all still with me and you're just scribbling away trying to get that list together. So one comment, the hard part is, for example, you might know what you need to do, but you don't know where to look for it. Yeah, so that can get you stuck. So I'd say write it down and then you can think about it a little bit further and start. That's where the research side comes into it. So that's probably in your initiate stage. What you're starting to do is build that kind of research and knowledge. Everyone's doing really well. Cool. All right. So if it's okay, am I okay to move on? I don't want to move too fast, but I want to move into the organize area. So organizing is another way I see is organizing is like autumn. So it's interesting because autumn is a season where we like to gather. We like to reap, like we reap the sow. What do we do? We reap what we sow. So, but another way I like to think of it is completing and finishing things off. So organized to me is all of the little menial tasks that kind of just need to get done, that you need to tick off your list to get you to the next spot. But they may be even incorporating things that you've started. So maybe you've started your project, you've created something, and during this phase, this is where we'd be kind of looking at wrapping up any loose ends. So another way I just think of this as kind of your smaller to-dos. So what are some of the smaller tasks that you know you need to get done that are going to move things forward? Okay, so when you're an initiate, this is not necessarily moving you forward. These stages are probably more around, these two are more around development. But even in this one, this is a move forward step as well. But is there anything in particular that you know you need to get done? So do you need a new bank account? Yes. I need to call the bank to get myself a new bank account. They're the type of things that I'd put into that category. So you may have some, you may have none. How's everyone going with that? We got everyone. Live is frozen. Is everybody still here? Just let me know that you're still here and you can see this. Sorry if there's some tech issues. Yes, Sula's saying the boring but satisfying tasks. Yes, exactly. So they give you that rush of endorphin when you're ticking them off your list. We talked a bit about this yesterday. So that's our organized phase. So just make sure you're putting all of those to-dos from your list into this section if you have any. Again, you can complete this later, so it doesn't have to all be done right now. And the last section is evaluate. So sometimes we forget to end the process. We forget to kind of look at in a more holistic way. And for me, the holistic way is how we can really achieve that balance. So when we go back to thinking of balance, we want to create, we want to achieve, we want to make money, we want to have sales, but then we also want to be able to reflect and bask in that enjoyment of finishing something. So I like to think of evaluate as winter. So this is the downtime maybe, or the restoration time where we look at our numbers. So we may be looking at the data. So we may be looking at what went well, what didn't go well. We may be trying to wrap up, looking at our numbers. So we may be checking if we've achieved targets. So have we done like check in on goals? So have you done everything that was on your list that you wanted to achieve? And if not, why? Was it because you set yourself too much? Have you been too ambitious? Have you not been ambitious enough? Have you driven stuff forward? Haven't you driven stuff forward? So these are the type of questions that you'd be asking and putting into the evaluate part. And you may find that this stage is ongoing, so it might not fit into those first 30 days. It may exist for a bit longer because it may be that you're just at the beginning, but it's quite good to think about what those tasks could look like. So for example, this month, if you're in the growth stage and you're wanting to hit a new target. Maybe you've set yourself a target when you're in the budgeting and the creating phase, and you want to make sure that you've reached that target. This is what you'd be doing. You'd be looking at it. You'd need to assess to see how productive it was. And again, just remembering all of this is just 30 days. So we're not trying to jump too high or do anything that's too big. How are you all going? Are you all here? Did the live freeze? No, I don't think so. Okay, we're good. Everyone's here. How are you all traveling? How are you going? How are you finding this? Have we nearly done it? Let me know when you're finished so I can see if we're ready to move on. So all we're going to do next is be restructuring what we have. Again, we're going to kind of, we've opened everything up. We've started big with the list. Now we've whittled it into categories. And the next, we're just going to distill it a little bit further and start maybe looking at some of the challenges and obstacles that we might face along the road. So let me know how you're going. Just want to make sure that you're all okay and you're still with me. So this is our 4 categories. We've got initiate, we've got collaborate, we've got organize, we've got evaluate. Let me think of another way we can talk about it. So for me, I could talk you through what a 30-day action plan for me would look like. So initiate, say I wanted to, this challenge, for example, is a good example. So I wanted to set up this challenge and be available for you. So I had to create the program. I had to come up with all of the tasks and the challenges that everyone would be doing. I had to think about the structure and develop it, figure out how it was going to run, who was going to be involved. Then I had to collaborate. So I had to talk to my team. So I have an amazing team who help me with all of the back end, the tech stuff, because I'm not a tech expert. So I do my best. But we in this phase, we're looking at all of the potential marketing opportunities that we needed to have. And we were looking at how we could work with the resources we had and the people that were already in our network. So we did a little bit of networking. We did some market research. I wanted to find out a little bit more about what my customers wanted. So for me, it's really important to make sure that what I'm delivering is what's actually wanted. So a challenge like this is perfect because I get to actually connect with you and see what you're wanting, see what areas you're struggling with, and then provide more help in those areas. And then receiving feedback as well. So this process that we're in right now, this whole journey, and when you contact me and you tell me how you're going, this is me receiving feedback. So I'm finding out from you how you're going with your work, and that helps me to be able to provide better products. Organize all of the small to-dos. So I had a ridiculous list. I wish I could show you. There were probably 100 to-dos on it, and I had to break them down and make sure I stayed on task because a lot of those had to be done before I was able to present the challenge to you. And then evaluate. So after the challenge, I'm going to be looking through. I've been going through some of your comments all through this week, but I'm going to go through more. I'm going to go through all the details and try and see what your comments and your feedback was, what the learning was for you, how you found the whole process, and check in on the goals and make sure that I've hit the targets that I had in mind for what I was trying to achieve here. So how are you all doing? Are you good? Are you still writing your lists? We've got a few questions. Do you do this through big brainstorms with your team? That's a really good question. I tend to do this alone, to be honest. This is something that is my process, but it definitely could work in a team environment, because if you're trying to get all your team onto one point, on one track, then if you're giving direction based on this, it depends what your project is. But yeah, you could use it in a team environment for sure. You could break down the tasks, you could write that master list out and then kind of spread everything out and delegate as to who needs to do what. But thinking this way is quite, the cyclical thinking is quite conducive to project work. If you're constantly working on a project, you will go through these stages, 1, 2, 3, 4, when you're going through any project. So every project has a natural beginning and end. And then there's all the stuff that happens in the middle. But it's quite nice to ensure that you are wrapping up a project by having that evaluation stage at the end. And are there any other questions coming up? No, cool. All right, I'm going to move on. Don't worry if you haven't finished that list. This is for you to start. This is just a little reflection time for you after that you may need. Next, we're going to look at some of the obstacles and challenges that you might face. So if I was to just bring up my little roadmap again. So far, can you see this? Hopefully you can see. Cool. So far we've worked out where we want to be in the next 30 days. We've worked out where we are now. Today's date should be in the start date, and the end date should be 30 days from now. So put down your end date on your pages. And the next thing, so we've got our goal 1, 2, 3, and 4. These relate to the 4 categories. So you can put them in any order. It doesn't really matter, but we've got our initiate, collaborate, organize, evaluate. So far we've filled in that. Now, the next thing we're looking at here are the obstacles and challenges that may come along the way while we're working through this. So what are obstacles and challenges? So obstacles I like to refer to as external barriers. So these are things that outside your control, that may get in the way of you achieving what you're trying to achieve. So when we're thinking of what obstacles could be, maybe it could be that it's the weekend and you can't get to the post office or the bank because it's closed, right? That's out of your control. So when you're planning ahead, you're thinking, I need to set up a bank account. Can I do it in the next 3 days? 2 of those days, the bank's closed, right? So that's a very simple example. But think of some things that could be obstacles to you reaching your goals. The next one is the challenges. So these are more internal blocks. So these are maybe more emotional. They may be fears. They may be insecurities or worries that you have. So we're kind of looking what we're saying here. Work, for example, exactly. Work is an external barrier. That's an obstacle. It's something out of your control. But challenges are the ones that are internal, that are more stopping you from going where you need to go. So as a little exercise, what have we got? We're all right. Everyone's on target, on track. So what I would like you to do is start to think about, with these 4 stages and any particular task. So if there are any on the list that are really already stressing you out or feel a little bit daunting, think about why. So think about whether there's going to be an obstacle to you achieving them. So you can do this for every single activity, or you could do it just for each category, or you could just do it overall. So thinking about that next 30 days, what is going to be your main obstacle? What is the thing that's going to be in your way? Do you have children that you have to look after? Do you have a job? Do you have other commitments that will take your time and energy? Are you in a pandemic and you can't start your business because you're in lockdown? So these are all like real blocks, real problems that may be coming up in the way. And then we're going into the challenges. So what are you feeling? So are you prone to procrastinating? Are you a bit of a perfectionist? Are you worried that you might fail? So what are some of the challenges that you expect you may face this 30 days if you're trying to achieve those tasks? So we've got work drains my mental energy and leaves me empty to take care of my own project. It's a terrible circle. Yeah, I hear you. So how can we maybe combat that? So when we're putting this down, first of all, we're acknowledging the things that may come up. These are our resistances. And first of all, by putting them in and acknowledging them, that's going to really start the process of helping you to understand that they're going to come up. So when you can predict that you're going to hit a problem, it's much easier to face it and overcome it, because it won't be as much of a shock for you. So if I can think about a challenge for me, when I'm in the creation phase, when I'm trying to come up with a new idea, I procrastinate. I procrastinate and sometimes leave things to the last minute. So I know a challenge I'm going to face is actually getting that work down on paper. So like you guys in this session here, this stuff you may not have done yet before, even though it's been in your mind for a long time, because you haven't had that drive or that push, because it's been a challenge. You're worried, you're nervous, you're stressed, whatever it might be that's stopping you to this point. So write those down, write down those challenges, write down those obstacles. Again, it can be for each point individually. It can be as a total overall for the next 30 days. What do you think is going to be stopping you and getting in your way of achieving everything that you want to achieve in this next 30 days? And I'd like to hear some of them in the group. So if you could share some, are there any things in particular that are coming up for you that you think would be helpful? Sometimes sharing them also helps you to see that other people are going through these things too. It's not just you. So I'd like to hear. So losing time to depression is one that's coming up. Yeah, that's a big one. That's really hard. And it's something outside your control. So it's interesting. Interesting because that's probably partly an obstacle and partly a challenge, because it will feel like it's not in your control. All right, how are we going? How are we going with our little roadmaps? Are we feeling excited yet? Are we feeling stressed? Are we seeing the sheer amount of work? I want this to be fun, right? It's not all about doom and gloom. This is something that you're wanting to do to set up for yourself. So it's awesome. It's actually really awesome that you've done this, that you started this journey. So even if it feels hard, I hope you don't feel stressed or overwhelmed really, because You may feel worried about the blocks that may come up and the challenges that may come up, but the fact that you've actually got these things down on paper, this is exciting. This is something that you've been wanting to do for so long. So it's not something that should feel heavy and really, really draining. Amber's saying, how do you stay upbeat all the time? I mean, you're seeing me for 1 hour on camera. I have a lot of Netflix and chills on my bed, which is just over there too. I'm not always happy and upbeat, but I do feel happy and upbeat about my subject. And when you're happy and upbeat about your subject too, it will bring that joy out in you, because you'll just be feeling like you're in your area of expertise. And when something's your area of expertise, and it will just come naturally and it will kind of come out of you, it will flow out of you. And I want that feeling for all of you. I really do. All right. So I want to move on, because we've been looking a little bit into the potential problems that we may face. And now I want to look at more positive side. So let's bring the energy back up again. So we're focusing now on the reward. So if you look at my little roadmap, we're here now. We're in the middle. Milestone to celebrate. So there's 2 parts to this. And I want you to think about how this is going to work out in the next 30 days. So milestones, I want you to identify some milestones along the way that are going to be points for you where you think you need to celebrate. So for me, I know that I get stuck between initiate and collaborate. I know that I find it really hard to get my butt sat on a chair and put down content. So for me, a milestone will be once I've put the idea out on paper, I've formed it, it has a structure, and it's like ready to move on to the next step. So for me, that is a milestone. For you, maybe it's similar, or maybe for you, it's that you need to have conversations and like ask other people what they think about your work. That might be a really big step for you, a big milestone. Tell me what some of your milestones would be. Would it be selling your first product? Would it be actually pressing send on that video that you want to put out there? So you've been holding back because you're scared to put your content out because you're worried about the feedback. Is that milestone for you when you've actually clicked go and it's out there? So what are your milestones? What do they look like? What are we working towards? Do you have more than one milestone in that 30 days? Do you want to reward yourself on multiple occasions, or is it just like 1 or 2? So for me, I would say 1 for me is going to be just 1 in this. So going from initiate to collaborate, once I've done this, I'm going to reward myself. The next part is, what are you going to reward yourself with? So what are you actually going to do to recognize your achievement? So we've got a few little milestones here. So one is getting my first job in the touring industry. That would be a huge milestone for me, even if it's just volunteering. We have getting my first client, but that won't happen in 30 days. Yeah, so remembering again, we're looking at milestones that can be achieved in the next 30 days. So if you have to kind of bring yourself back a little bit, because I always like to say we think big, but we plan small. So yes, we are going to be thinking about the long term, but right now we're just planning small. We're just putting those little steps in place. So what is your 30-day milestone? And along the way within your 30-day plan, what is it that's going to be a milestone on that way that you know you're going to have achieved? To think of baby ones for this month. Yeah, that is a huge milestone. Yeah, as we were just talking about. So come up with a smaller milestone. Think of it. It could be that you've contacted 5 people who could be potential clients. It could be that you've started to understand the industry a little bit better. So think about those milestones. And then think about what the reward is going to be. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do to celebrate that you've hit that milestone? A favorite of mine, I'm a little indulgent. I do like massages. So any excuse really to have a massage for me. I know we're in lockdown, but I know for me, that would be always my go-to one, is you get a massage. Or maybe it's that you're going to be able to splurge on having a takeaway or going out for dinner. It could even just be time. It doesn't have to have money involved. It could be that you just want to give yourself an afternoon off, or you want to just have a cup of tea and sit there quietly and just have some peace and quiet, or you want to watch that Netflix series that you've been trying to watch and you want to give yourself a time to binge session. So what are some of those celebrations? Getting my hair done. Oh yes, that's another good one, isn't it? What else have we got? You like the idea of massage. Yes. What are some of your others? Think about your reward. I want to hear what your rewards are. I mean, getting your business off the ground is a reward. Yes, that's true. But this is more kind of a little kind of motivator along the way. Some people are even motivated enough by a tick off their to-do list. So what's on your list? What's there for you? What is the reward that you're going to have at the end? Awesome. All right. So how are you all feeling? How's your chart looking, your roadmap looking? Is it looking as crazy as mine? Is it looking as full as mine? I hope so. So thank you for sticking with me. I know that was quite a lot of information, and it was a lot of kind of digging in deep. And literally, this is the starting point. Again, I can't stress that enough. So I want to know, have you enjoyed the workshop so far? Have you enjoyed mapping out that plan? How are you feeling now that we've kind of got a structure, an overview of what it's going to maybe look like for the next 30 days? So I've just shown you your 30-day action plan. And I know that you'll be looking at it and maybe feeling daunted, or maybe feeling, hopefully, excited about how achievable it is. But would you be able to, sorry, let me think about, where are we at? Rewards. Yeah, so sorry. Some of you are still writing rewards through. I don't want to cut you off. Let me know what your rewards are. I would love to hear, because for me, celebration is just as important as everything else. All right. So as I said, I know some of you are feeling excited right now and ready. And my next question for you is, would you like me to show you how, and also hold you accountable to actually doing stuff, to actually getting stuff done? So now you have your plan in place. Would you like me to show you how you need to execute it? Of course, as I said at the beginning of this, you can take your plan and you can run with it. But if you'd like to find out how you can actually have my help in implementing this plan, and to be able to walk through it step by step and make sure that you get everything done in the next month or two, then I want you to keep watching, as that's what we're going to be going through next. So what we've done so far in the last 45 minutes or so is just the start, like I've said, and it's something that I really want you to start thinking a little bit more seriously about. So I have another question for you. What do you think some of the repercussions are going to be for you if you don't get your finances sorted? So we've been looking at all of the things that where you are, where you've been, where you are now, where you want to be. But have we thought yet about where you'd be if you keep going in the way you're going now? So if you keep everything as it is, what are the repercussions for that? Can you really afford to put this off any longer? Can you really afford to not get your business up and running for another year or 5 years or 10 years? So I want to know, have you thought about this yet? Is this something that's been part of your planning and part of your worry? Have you been thinking about what will happen if you don't actually get these things up and running? Ultimately, I'm a massive, massive believer in accountability and help, which is why I've set up Get Comfy with Money as a Facebook group as well, because I think it's important to bring people who are like-minded together, and why it's really important to have something that you're accountable to and who is checking up on you. Even coaches, so I've mentioned a few times I've worked with coaches, so even coaches need coaches. So I have my own coaches who help me with my business and lifestyle goals as well, and I have coaches who come to me who need help specifically with their business and finance setup. So we are constantly working and learning together. But I also want to acknowledge that so far you've been really brave, because you have come and you've actually reached out and asked for help. So when it comes to getting help, there is a lot of resistance sometimes in the coaching industry. I know this, when it comes to trust, and this may be because of experiences that you've had in the past. So we encounter lots of people, and at the moment, a lot of this is online. So sometimes it's really hard to know who you can trust, or maybe you had an experience in the past where you've been burnt, or you've spent money that you ended up not getting any value for at the end, or people are making promises that seem so ridiculous that you kind of laugh at them, or they sound too good to be true. So maybe it's hard for you to actually know where you should go to get the information that you want, and who you should trust, and who's actually there to try and help you, and who's just trying to sell a product. So I always encourage my clients and potential clients to think about investing in anything when it comes to investment for themselves, to really, really think deeply about it. And like I say, I want you to feel really excited and aligned and nourished is a big word, by your decision if you were to work with me. But that being said, I do want you to stretch outside your comfort zone and feel a little bit stretched, or I don't know, we want to be exploring the boundaries, basically. We don't want to just stay in the comfort zone, but it's not about breaking the bank. It's not about bleeding financially. This is about an investment. It's about setting yourself up ready for your future so you can actually start creating what it is that you've been saying for so long that you want to create. Maybe you found that you've actually never invested in yourself before, though, and this for you is quite a daunting prospect. But you should invest in yourself in the areas that you know are going to help give you that life that you really want. And you're so worth it. I want you to know that too. Like, this comes into that piece. I talk a lot about worth, but you are so worth all of the time and effort that you put into yourself, and you should really give yourself that and be nourishing to yourself. So next question I have for you, why, it was kind of rhetorical, but why should you work and trust me? So what's my standing? Why would I be the person that would help you? So far, I hope that you've gained a lot from the challenge and you've started to see the types of potential areas that I can push you in. We've explored a lot of what's going on and why it's going on. And I believe that I would be a really good fit to help push you through the how, so we can get all of those things in place, all of those actions done for you. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I've worked in the creative industry with hundreds of creatives over the past almost 10 years. So I've had that hands-on experience, and I know what it takes to make it. I know what it takes when we're trying to build a profitable business that is also, as I always say, sustainable, but also in a way that doesn't break your emotional bank, let's say it. So this is, I know that way that you can kind of create the lifestyle that you want alongside your business, because this is something that I do with everything I do. So are you all with me at the moment? How are you feeling? Have you had any experiences before? Some of the people in this group are my coaching clients already, which is fantastic to see you all here to continue learning and growing. Some people I have spoken to about it already as well. So it's really nice to see all your faces, as well as all of the new ones, all the ones that are thinking about potentially going into something further. I know as well what it's like when you don't know how much you should charge for your worth. Or for your product, and to not price yourself properly, especially when it's something that you love doing. So I know this comes up a lot, because let's face it, and I feel this way too sometimes, when something is something I really love, I don't know how necessarily to price it, because it feels like, why would I charge for something that I would do for free? I also know how to manage business and personal finances, which is probably a huge part of going to see a money coach, is trying to figure that out. But I'm more talking about the balance of two. So when you have your own business, you have to think about your personal finances, but you also have to think about your business finance management, which they are very closely intertwined. And sometimes people have them in the same account even. So it is a slightly different dynamic to just working for a business and getting a paycheck. I also know what it's like to be in the 9-to-5 world. I used to be in it myself, and I know what it's like trying to come out of it. I know how it feels quite isolating sometimes when you're running a business on your own. I know how it feels to have my computer on holiday with me and not actually have proper time off, because I'm constantly working. And some of you already know this, but I also know what it's like to be in debt, in a lot of debt from a business venture. However, on the other side, that then lets me see that I also know how to pull myself out of debt. So I'm officially credit card debt free. And that feeling is priceless. And I would love to share how that's possible with other people. I also know how to set systems up so that you can deal with the overwhelm and create that healthy work-life balance for yourself. I know how to delegate well, so I know how to figure out who you should hire and what you want them to be doing. So at this point, you might be thinking hiring is really far away from where you are, but eventually you'll get to a point where you will want to outsource work and have other people helping in areas that their expertise is in. So I know how to do that, and I know how to prioritize what you should focus on and what you want other people to focus on. And I also know how to stop you avoiding your bank account and also build a business that will help you actually achieve your dreams. So how are you going at the moment? Have you got any more questions for me just while we're going? No, everyone's good. Everyone's with me still, hopefully. Cool. Anyway, at the end of the day, I'm really excited that I've got to share all of this with you this week. And I want you to think about this as a potential investment. So what I'm going to do is, Sula, could you share the link which just shows the benefits of working on this program. So what I'm going to do now is talk you through a program which I think would be a really good fit for you, which is called the Money Mastery Program. So this is a fun and healing and exciting experience for anyone who is ready to take their financial independence to that next level, is ready to take that business and all of those action plans and actually execute them. So after working with lots of people in this space, I found that in order to create that financial and business setup that brings you all of the purpose and the passion and the freedom that you want, we do need 7 different things. So if you just click on the link that Sula is sharing with you, if you want to see them, but all more dynamically. But basically these are, one of them is mindset. So I always say we start with mindset. The next one is a money plan, a roadmap plan. So similar to what we've been doing today, but we're looking kind of more long term. The third is a follow-through system, which is all about getting things done, about getting things ticked off that list. The next one is around confidence and your own belief in your unique skills and abilities. Number 5 is all around sustainable work-life boundaries. So we've talked a lot about balance between those two, and it's about bringing that out. The next is accountability, which is probably my favorite of all, like that little virtual tap on the shoulder, that helping hand, the one that's going to help push along and make sure that you can't hide away, because it's a lot easier to hide from yourself than somebody else. And then lastly, the right tools and practices that you need to actually get things implemented. So chances are you have all of these ideas, all of this wants and needs to get stuff done, but it's about creating that kind of more tailored approach for you so that we can get you to where you actually want to be. Because ultimately, I want to help you feel comfortable to talk about money openly and freely with whoever you want, to manage your money and manage your business finances when you have your new budding businesses, and also make more money ultimately, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to make more money. So what if I could tell you that I could provide all of those things into a course? So what we've done in this challenge is just like the tip of the iceberg. And this program is a 16-week course. So it does take you through bi-weekly coaching sessions or fortnightly, depending on where you are in the world. And my whole goal is to give you all of the resources that you need along the way so that you can achieve your goals. So I find the flow of the course over a 4-month period works really well with the internal stuff. So all of the blocks and the barriers, we need to release those, get rid of those limiting beliefs and help change your perspective. And then on the other side, we need to set you up. So setting up bank accounts, looking at budgets, all of that stuff, but fitting into your life is something that's going to take a little bit of balancing. So I find that for full, true transformation, you do need that amount of time. So as part of the offer today, I've got a few little extra inclusions that I want to add in. So I'm going to tell you all of the things that you get, and Sula's going to send you a link. I don't think the links are working for some reason. It's fine. After this, I'll send you everything anyway, but I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown now on all the things that you get included in the Money Mastery Program. So one is 8 coaching sessions with me. So they're one-on-one sessions. They're all held through Zoom at the moment. If we open up into a world where we're allowed out again, and if you're in the same country as me, we could do face-to-face, but for now, everything is held on a one-on-one setting on Zoom. You'll also get access to my portal. So I have a training program on a portal which has worksheets so you can write everything down. It has videos so that you can follow training programs in between our sessions, so it keeps you on track and on task. With that, I also send you a lovely little welcome kit in the mail, which some of you are going to win as prizes for all your participation in this week. Those will be announced on Monday, by the way, as well. You'll also get access to all of my templates and scripts. So I've got templates from anything from how to tell your boss that you want more money to how you can structure your days so that you're achieving more, to budgets that you can use for cash flow, for your business expenses, all sorts of things. So these resources are really helpful with certain aspects of your business and your personal life. You'll also get a customized personal and business budget. So I'll actually help you work on it rather than just handing you the spreadsheet. I'll actually work the numbers through with you, and we'll start to figure out the best balance so it's personalized and tailored for you. You'll also get a custom money roadmap. So you'll receive a physical copy that you can fill in, as well as a few other goodies in the kit. And you'll get action checklists as well. So each session you'll have a set of action points that you need to complete before the next session. And because you're accountable to me, trust me, you will get them done, because you don't want to disappoint me before the next session. And then I'm also there available for support the whole time as well. So you can contact me by email, you can contact me by Facebook Messenger, but I'm available because I want this to be a journey where you don't feel alone. So at any point that you're struggling with any of the content, the material, even if it's your own stuff, even if you're like, oh, Leah, I just spent all this money on my credit card, I'm really stressed, telling me or like owning up to it and being able to talk it through, that's what I'm here for. So I want to be available for that type of interaction through the course. You'll also get the coaching calls recorded. So if you want to refer back to anything, you'll have that as a resource so that you can keep working on any things that come up. And we do a fun money personality type analysis as well. Now, one extra bonus that I want to give to anyone who's listening to this webinar is first of all, a bonus if you pay in full. But second bonus is an additional coaching session with a guest coach. So I have some amazing coaches who I'm friends with and who are in my network and who I get mentorship from as well, who I want to be able to share with you. So you would get an additional session on top of the 8 with me from another person. I've got a couple in mind, but I will talk to you further to decide who would be the best match. And that would also be something that you get provided as part of the pack. So maybe you're wondering now how much all of this is going to cost. And that's a very good question. So for today, I'm offering this package with these sessions. So that's 8 sessions of the Money Mastery program and all of the inclusions that you just heard for £1,297. So that is for one full payment if you're going to pay off in one installment. I do have an installment option as well. So you can do 4 payments of £390. So it's a slightly higher price to do in installments. But if you pay in advance that one payment, it is that lump sum at the cheaper rate. And that includes all of those inclusions. And I do also offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee because I want to make sure that you feel fulfilled by the work. So if you find in the first 30 days that after you've put the work in and you've done sessions with me and you're not getting the results that you want or thought, even if you don't like what my training portal looks like or any of the material, then there is that guarantee. So it will be an investment for you, an investment for your future. It may feel like a lot to start with, but when you break it all down, ultimately it's going to help you get where you want to get. So I really hope that you take me up on this offer. If you're interested, just can you write in the group, Get Comfy with Money? And then either Sula or myself will get in touch with you afterwards. Just write Get Comfy with Money and we'll reach out to you and give you all the information you need to either go ahead and purchase it, or if you want to talk further, we can do an intro session and we can talk about more of a personalized plan for you. So one other thing I want to say, which is kind of contradictory, and I know a lot of other people don't do this, is that I've recently stopped using my credit card. So I'd love for you to take a moment to consider when you're deciding to go ahead and work with me, whether using a credit card is a choice for you. Because my aim here is that I want to help you build a positive relationship with finance. And the last thing is that I want you to go into debt to sort out your financial future. So it's all about being sensible as well and really understanding how this is going to add value rather than put you in a worse off situation. So there are limited places. Do keep that in mind. This offer is going to be open for the next 7 days. So the challenge is still open until next Friday. But we are going to be announcing the winners to the prizes on Monday. So anyone who hasn't done the challenge before then won't be in the running anymore. So make sure you've completed all of the challenge activities and you've done all of the homeworks and posted if you want to still be in the running for those prizes. So that's it. As I said, let my team know in the comments. Just write Get Comfy with Money if you're interested in finding out more about how we can work together so we can execute those 30-day plans that you have and actually start putting all of those steps into place so that you can build that business, build that lifestyle that you want. And as a gift, I did mention a gift, didn't I? I already told you. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, anyone now who's still in this call, I'm going to be sending you just the digital version of my money roadmap. So if you could just put a little hands up sign or something just so I know that you're in here. So if anyone who's been watching hasn't commented yet, I want to make sure you don't miss out. So if you just put an emoji of some kind in the comment, then I'll make sure that I get that emailed to you, the money roadmap. So I'll probably contact you on Facebook. So look out in your direct messages so that I can make sure I get the correct email address to send you the link. So you'll have your own digital version, which you can print out, but it is included in the welcome kit as well. So if you want to have the physical copy as well as all the other goodies, that is in there as well. So that's it. That's it. We've done our 30-day action roadmap. How are you feeling? I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the chat how this session has been for you. I know some of you are finding it difficult, and I'm really happy that you honored that resistance and you stayed with it and you stayed with me all the way through till now. The Facebook group as well that you're in, the pop-up one, that will be active again, as I said before, for the next week. But then at the end of the week, that one's going to be closing. So I urge you, if you aren't already in my Get Comfy with Money Facebook group, jump across to there. Ask to be added, and we'll approve you to go in straight away, so that community feel that we've built in our challenge can extend into the Get Comfy with Money group. So you'll still all be in there. I know some of you have made friends, which is really great, and there's still loads of other resources in there. So even if you decide now is not quite the right time to invest in this type of program, you can get free resources in there, and there's lots of help and support available. So thank you all for joining me. I've had an amazing wild ride of the last 5 days, and it's been an absolute joy to talk to you all, to meet you, to delve further into what your plans are. And I'd love to find out from you what your action plan looks like. So tell me, please keep me in the loop. I would love to know what you're working on for the next 30 days. And at the end of those 30 days, and even along the way, please let me know what you're doing and how it's going, because I don't want you to lose that momentum. So if you want that little digital tap on the shoulder, I can be there for you and we can get those things done. So thanks again. All have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you very, very soon.